Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, let's go right into it, I guess. I wanted to do some debugging. Oops. Cool, whatever that was. Yeah, let's keep that open. Yeah, I wanted to do some debugging, but I found the problem in the first try already. Yeah, I wanted to know why RenderDoc doesn't work. And sadly RenderDoc does not support Wayland surfaces, it seems like. Which will be a pain in the future, because I need RenderDoc eventually. So I will probably have to implement X11 after all. Which is very sad. Oh, we will deal with that later, not today. I'm not really feeling the urge to implement that. So what we will do instead is I did some debugging on the C++ on the Windows side of things, so I kinda know what might be an issue already. So I hope I can fix it on the fly here. And yeah, then we go from there. I am going shader. I would do it like that basically. Delete, oops. GR instant index, I think. Now we have the in here. Oh yeah, we have to, well, let's do one thing at a time. Do that, or layout, location, 0. So I think, or what, that will be, maybe we are not doing that today then, but let's get it up and running on the screen, because I think I need RenderDoc to debug it then properly, but let's see. Let's see what we get. And then we have as well the render graph, where default. Somewhere I have, yeah, where that. yank that. Go here. Paste that here. I think that should be it already. That might already be good enough. But yeah, it's kinda sad that it doesn't support Wayland. Render doc, that is. Oh, I took that out, I think. Where is my debugger? Oh, here. Oh yeah, I did that as well, yeah. I can remember. I need to add a couple of things here. We take... I think... that... Hey, hello. Oops. If final texture dot is valid. Oops. Well, if it's valid, then we do that. And then we need to go to the scene editor, find finer texture. Okay. I think that's it. Hopefully. How are you doing, Capchica? So you... I don't know if you ever said it, but you kinda won. I have to implement X11 alpha as well. Which is very sad. Did I not? Oh yeah, I think I didn't do that right. I think. Or let's actually fix it properly then. Why is the sphere empty is the bigger question. Ubisoft is on sale. What? Ubisoft entirely or the games you mean? Where do I want to go? Let me think. Jesus, where did I want to go? Probably physics system. Do I not? I mean, here, is that not handling the sphere properly? Debug sphere. Or maybe it's not the same kind of thing? Or the layout is wrong. That could be the other case, right? I should probably... Oh, we're not... Wait, I'm not No, I am copying here. Yeah, exactly, I am copying here. So that should work in theory, but I guess it doesn't for whatever reason. Radius is 50. Or is it maybe that I'm doing it wrong on the shader side? I am doing it wrong on the shader side. Might be bought. Or so theory, hopefully. Oh yes, there it is. But it, yeah, that is a weird thing that it moves with the camera. But yeah, that would be the idea, that we have like the debug rendering here. I don't think it supports moving though, right? Oh, it actually does. That's more fascinating than I thought. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. That is not so good, that it goes up and down like that. But maybe we're not... Well, let's try it, but without render dog, I might be a little bit lost on that one. But we can at least verify what we do with... with the terrain shader, right? Because we do something very similar there. The mouse position. Now we do that. Maybe it's that. That is definitely not that great that this was one. But not sure if that was the only issue. No. It's probably something here. But it goes only... let me debug it one more time. It only goes up and down, right? It changes the Y coordinate. Or... yeah, it stays in X and Z, but it goes up and down. That's interesting. So the Y coordinate is wrong. mean, that still might be something with this. Let's see where we do the... Where do we do that? Terrain panel, probably. Where is my mouse position? Trace terrain. Mouse position. X minus the viewport minus the extent. Oh, okay, we break it up like that. So that might be actually... Oh, that explains it, because if it's inverted, right? Going up and down makes it different. Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. X divided by viewport dot X times 1 and that. Now we yank that entire thing. Paste that basically there, but yeah, we need to do a couple of things here. So first, replace that with Y, like that. Replace that with Y. Yeah, that might actually already do it. I don't know. Hey, GD Bobby, hello. Okay, we have shader error. Wherever it is, oh here. Oh. Or actually, never mind. Let's do that. Oh, well then, no, stop. No, it's correct. Well, let's hope it is correct. Okay, so I still have a shader error. God damn it. Should really not be that hard to find, but okay. Here. Cannot convert. Did I not fix that already? Oh, maybe not, because I need to probably mark it as spec 2 here. Yeah. Stupid me. Oh, there it is, and now it stays perfect. Nice. Alright. Good enough. Let's fix it a little bit more. Let's take the color here actually. Oh, but for that we need to... Can I do a vec like a color? GLSR UN2 vec4 color. Yeah, but it's in the buffer. I mean, I guess I could send it as a vec4 as well. It doesn't really matter, or bit shifted out, I guess. I'm not sure. But then again, why would I send it as a vec4 if a UN is more than enough? So might as well not do that. So how do you convert that, I guess? UN, well, actually I think I have that somewhere. Kinda already. Probably somewhere in ImGUI. Is that not GO? No, GO. Oh yeah, color. Yes, this one. I mean, I could have probably come up with that myself. I mean, I'm just lazy, that's all. But yeah, basically we take that. Do I put that into a util? Probably, but for now we will put it into the shader directly. Oops. Vec4. Well, color. Get color, I guess. We get a U and color. Okay, well, that was not it. Oh. Still don't know how to do that yet, but... But yeah, unfortunately, I probably need to implement what did I say? X11 support. Color 32 red channel. Green. Blue. Define. Or do I need to do a define? Probably not, right? A const UN is good enough as well. Can I yank that? Kinda, right? Probably works. Or really nice. Probably 8, right? Because that's the shift. Yeah, exactly. That's the shift. And then we do that. That is a back 4. Oof. Can I not? Well, whatever. I think there's a hotkey for too lower, but don't know it, so. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, so probably just here get color for new constants, instances, spheres at closest index. That should do it, right? Ish. I mean, we probably did a couple of mistakes again along the way, as usual. Oh, we definitely %s. Never mind. That's a weird color format here. Something's going on here that's probably not correct, but whatever. Yeah, let's see if that works. I mean, in theory, we should now see nothing. That would be ideal, or unfortunately ideal. I guess. Or let's actually do it slightly different and let's hard code that to 1 for now. So we have a full alpha here. Again, might not work. Yeah, probably a shader error, right? Yeah. Must be initialized. What? Is that not how it's done or what? Oh. Where? Yeah. 48. Well, that's wrong, right? But yeah. Or is it? No, it's definitely wrong, right? Unexpected right brace. Oh. Forgot the semicolon. Unfortunate. Oh my god. I'm stupid. Color. Is it color or? Yeah, it is color. Okay, yeah, perfect. Exactly how I expected it to work. So now the only thing is we need to go to debug draw queue. But actually we always want the color, right? I think. Now we probably need a header with different colors. And then yeah, here, exactly. 0xFF, 00FF, FF. Let's do that. Which would be red, blue, so a purple, I think, right? Red and blue is the purple. And fully opaque. The question is, do I even want to support alpha is another question, but yeah. Yellow, red and is that red and green or what? Wait, the upper channels and the lower really? Oh yeah, okay, no, well, never mind. It's red and the lower channel is red, so it's red. No, actually that doesn't really make too much. Or does it make sense? So that's the alpha. That's blue, that's green, that's red. Yeah, okay. Makes sense again. I do think though I don't know, do I want to order it like that? Not sure. I mean, no, I think it's fine to have it like that. So I guess we can get that back. That should work. And now we should be able, for example, to go here and set that to, I don't know. It's to 70. I don't know. Maybe that's too little. But that would be basically the alpha. So it should be... Wow, why did it open on the second one? Huh? Yeah, it doesn't really support it, I guess. Because I'm not blending, I think. But then again, I don't think I want to blend, to be honest. Yeah, it's solid. We probably don't want it solid, but for today without RenderDoc, that's good enough for me. I think we will continue that maybe some other time, because I need to look at how I would want to not have it solid. I'm not quite sure yet. But yeah, that's pretty good. Let's actually take here. Oh yeah, we would need to get the physics body. So basically something like that, I guess. If the entity has one, then we draw a sphere collider here. And that would be our sphere collider radius. And then let's do that again to FF. And then 0, 0. Let's do it in red, but maybe not like a bright red. Let's do, I don't know. It might be a nice one. 7, 7. Something like that, I don't know. That's a little bit small, but I guess it's because of that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So that works. That was bad. Oh, okay, where? Oh no, yeah, it was bad. I cleared it and set it to 0. That's not good. Okay. I wanted to double check one thing. Is that now green again? Oh yeah, well, kinda. Why was it cancelled? Okay. Whatever, maybe I'm out of minutes on the build machine, I don't know. Maybe I submit a couple of things here, even though it's still work in progress. Because I would want to do something else before continuing with the debug stuff. And before I can finish. Well, I mean, I guess the debug stuff is more or less... Well, it's not done, but first version is there. This one we can unstage. Or discard. This one is as well garbage. Oh yeah, that one. I have a lot of to-dos, to be honest, on my list. A lot of to-dos. But overall, I would say it's in a pretty... At least in a state where I would be confident to at least submit it, even though it's like very rough. Let's submit it, get it out of the way, and then iterate. 0.6 is anyways far off from being done. First version of debug. The raw API. For e.g. well, or maybe do I maybe want to go through all of them manually? Maybe I don't want to just submit, because I'm not sure if I have like some commented stuff somewhere, but probably I do. But I would want to look at some other thing that I had an idea for today. And then probably, yeah, tomorrow I have to implement, either we go back to Windows or I implement the X11 backend. Probably it will be the X11 backend, because I actually don't want to go back to Windows if I can avoid it. What is that? Why is... I mean, I think this should even be gone. Okay, I can't. Never mind. Not in this view, alright. Oh, yeah, that's that. Or, okay, that's not perfect by any means, but it's good enough. So we will polish that later. I think overall that change, those changes are actually quite nice. Or that one we can discard again. Never mind, I can't. Cool. Yeah, I wasn't right. But now it bites me. Mostly, as I said, because it it's not supported by RenderDoc. which is very unfortunate. Alright, so what I noticed though, but I will do that off stream, is that I added a bunch of errors because it seems like that somehow my compilation on Linux just ignores warnings. And I'm not quite sure why. Because actually I kinda said that it shouldn't do that. But it somehow does. So that's something I need to figure out. Because for example, where was that? Somewhere in ImGUI, I think, actually. Well, in ImGUI system or whatever. There is somewhere, or is it not in ImGUI systems, or it's, I think, in ImGUI window, where we do the positioning. This one is not a like, yeah, that's like an invalid or like a cast that truncates. Not quite sure why it doesn't warn for that. On Clang, but okay. Because it should. Because I'm casting a float to an int. And I'm not sure why it just doesn't bother with, or like doesn't care about that. And there's other stuff that as well doesn't work. But that's not for today. Today what I wanted to look at, besides the debug rendering, which now works, well, kinda works, first version, is one overhaul for a system that I had some ideas for. So let's close basically all, I think. And oh, okay, that doesn't work. Cool. Good to know. Then where do I want to go? That would be actually quite nice change, but it probably, I'm not sure if I'm, let's say, smart enough to do it today. But let's see. I'm actually not here, sorry. Entity component system, that's what it was. So what I want to do is rewrite this a little bit. So basically struct entity, well, access, kinda. And we get a template of type name T. I think. And we have a struct to read. Actually, I'm not quite sure how to do that, never mind. I think I have some notes somewhere again, but Let me double check. Where is my stuff? Okay, yeah, so basically I have 3 templates. Well, let's do 2 templates for now. One is struct read, but actually we could do them in here. Oops. Struct read, that is using type equals t. Then we have write here. And then we probably have some enums here. Access type and an enum. It's an access type and so that is basically read or write. Oh, and then enum class filter type, I guess. Although I'm not sure if I need that. Do I need that? I don't know. I mean, kinda, maybe. Ish. Something like that. Ish. What did I do with my... Where is the rest of my... Oh, here is my... asserted werden. I'm trying to... Yeah, okay, let's show that first. So... where would be a good example? I mean, the physics system is probably too easy in that sense. Maybe the volume? Terrain system is maybe the biggest one so far. I'm not sure. Is it? Where is my system even? Ah, here. Yeah, actually that might be quite helpful. So what currently we define entity accesses like that, right? So basically you say you want an entity query, which is basically a single entity you get called for each of those. Well, actually an entity query, sorry, is the whole list and you can iterate over it. An entity is that broken up already for you, so you will get one call per terrain entity, but the entity query will stay the same, right? Because you get the whole list at once. So you can do a couple of different things with that. But the main thing that I want to do now is, because this is a read access, like both of those are read accesses, but here, for example, that's a read on the settings but writes on the other components. Plus this one is actually not a write, it's just a, does it have that flag? So what I would want to do is make that a little bit more explicit. So basically what I would want to do is terrain entity is an entity here, and let's say access, or like actually, yeah, I'm not sure if I will do access, but let's go with that. Let's say access and then read, and then you just give it this terrain settings here. Oops. And it automatically knows that it will be const reference because it's a read, right? And then you chain to that basically your write calls, which is the list of those. Oops. That would be the idea, and then you do the one thing as well with, for example, would be the check flag within in a terrain flag. That would be the pattern that I would want to have. And that makes it quite easy to understand and read versus like this long list here. And if you want to, the idea that I have, it would support as well breaking this up, but I would not recommend that, but you could do that, right? So you could write it like that. And then it's even easier to read, but I wouldn't recommend it because it makes the template evaluation a little bit longer. So yeah, I don't know. It depends. But yeah, that would be the idea. And that would be beneficial for two things. First of all, I think it makes it easier to understand what happens versus like just this long list here. And another side effect is with that I can already sort the components based on their access. I could do the same here, but with that approach I already have them sorted. And that makes it that I can verify that the scheduling between systems is correct. Because basically if you have a component that writes to this thing and you have another a system that writes to a component and you have a system that reads from the same component, you know that one of them has to run first, otherwise you get random results, right? So at that point you have to set up which one runs before the other basically, and I can basically enforce that then that this happens. With is just a limitation, so basically it's not a read, it's not a write, it just says all the entities have to have that flag for this system to run on it. So in this case it's a little bit obscure maybe, but what you could do is, for example, in a game when you have different factions, you could have like a component that is like enemy faction, right? That's just a flag. And then you have, for example, player faction is another component. It's empty, it's just a tag that you tag components with, entities with. And you could say, okay, we only run this on the enemies. And it doesn't read anything because it doesn't have any data, it's just a flag. Or you have without, maybe I add, like probably I will add a without as well. And then you could say without that, and then you run it on all alive enemies, right? Because they're not dead. That would be the idea behind this. You could already do the same more or less with this approach, but it's a little way harder to understand and read. This would make it way more readable. That's the main idea behind all of that. So let's go back and try that. So basically It's actually not so simple because it's a little bit convoluted, let's say, in terms of how I need to build that, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure how to build it yet with the templates, so it will be probably a little bit of trial and error and probably a little bit of research. Okay, so that built nice, but do we have actually warnings here? Oh, we do have warnings here, right? Yeah. So probably I want to fix most of them. Why do we have here? That's probably something in the code chain that's wrong. Great. Where did I have that? Cool. Has a lot of warnings to fix. It's the code chain again. Jesus. I need to, well, let's actually fix that first. The VS Code. Where is that? Oh, maybe it's not even committed. Maybe it's a temp thing that I have. No, maybe not actually. Console dot right, probably. Oh yeah. Cool. That was a different test that I ran here. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, so let's try. So basically I need as well as struct access builder. Maybe it's the same thing. I am not sure yet. But where, let's put that maybe above, I'm not sure. Template type name. Where? Component access. And that is basically a template. Type name. Well, let's do these, I guess. And that's using read is our component access broken up with the entity read access of the T's. Those are the 3 reads that I did delete them again, okay. Let's do with already, because we need it kinda. So let's start. That's our right. Let's do our well, yeah, let's do with and not has. Okay. And then we as well do using view T is template list for entity view creation. And that is basically end basic view or let's actually yeah, let's not do that yet. I'm not quite sure about that yet. Well, it's actually no, actually it's this, right? Storage for, and then end get T storage for isn't that just tags? Well, component accesses. Kind of. Where does this template end? Why is it not highlighting? Ah, it's definitely wrong, right? It's probably like that. Ish. Maybe. And then we have another thing here, which are the, well, actually, yeah, let's add it here. is our access builder with our entity read of the T's. That is a right. And in theory, I would already have a width here. At least I think that's fine. Ish. Let's see, does that already do it? So if I go here, Jesus, and make a new line using test access is entity access. Well, actually, maybe that, right? And that's right, transform component and game core free runtime component. Where do you go? Oh, it's sorry. Makes sense. Oh, that's why it's maybe outside, right? Huh? Oh, it's not end. Well, it is entity, isn't it? Is that in the wrong namespace or what? Oh, that looks fine. Why would that be a thing? Because we clearly have access here. Oh, wait. It's like that, right? Okay. Otherwise it's not a temp, otherwise it would be a template, right? Yeah. Okay. And then the question is there the read access already? Not quite, right? Or we need to do more than that, I guess, then. Actually, yeah. I think I would want to have components or struct component access definition. And that is const expr. But actually, yeah, no, const expr is fine. How would that work actually? I think I would want it to be const expr somehow, but does it need to be a template then? Where we basically get an access type and a filter type. That's not it. Oh wait, maybe that. Yeah, that doesn't work as a using, right? I mean, maybe. Does it need to be? Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I think, to be static, maybe. I think that could work-ish. But I'm not sure, to be honest. The thing is, I would want them to filter that here. So basically we get a bunch of those, I guess. And that is a component access definition. Oh, do we need the type then of the... Oh, maybe. Right. So maybe that is actually on the component. And then yeah, that one I'm not too sure yet how to do. But yeah, basically I would want to add a new component access definition here on basically the T is expanded. Kinda. I'm not sure if that works even. I mean, it definitely works somehow. So in the code that I had before, it broke it up a little bit different. With a second helper that basically iterated over those here to add the const and non-const. But I'm not sure if I like that. But to be honest, I'm a little bit tired today already. Jesus. I should have started sooner to stream. But we will finish this tomorrow. And then... yeah, then we start X11, I guess. But I need to read up some stuff how to do the X11 because, yeah, that will be a pain again. And maybe I just do really as well bare bones just so that I can get RenderDoc running. Don't really care about much on X11. That's really not something I wanted to do, but it seems like we have to. Because otherwise it doesn't really make sense that I'm on Linux. If I cannot run RenderDoc, we will have real big problems with other graphics effects. And especially once I go back to the terrain, we will have problems. So, yeah. I will do that. But yeah, I will take a little bit rest today. It was quite exhaustive at work as well. We will be back tomorrow though, hopefully. Yeah, I think a little bit more refreshed. And then we will finish that. It shouldn't be too hard to finish anymore. Just need to figure out how to do that. But that shouldn't be too hard. And then yeah, and then we can rewrite some systems. Well, we don't have that many, right? So it's really quick, but it will make everything a little bit nicer. Yeah, thank you very much. Let's probably raid Cakes. I assume he's still like streaming. Or yeah, he is. Let's raid him. Thank you. Have a nice rest of your evening. See you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you for the follow.